didn't expect it to do that.
Hey, does it look like you're talking into a robot penis?
Shut the fuck up. You can't be saying silly shit like that. Why would you be saying
Pop said silly shit. I'm gonna try to be
silly?
serious.
Pop up was gonna say something. Okay. Okay. Is this thing on? Okay. Okay. Mic check 1 2.
Spit some bars.
Okay. For my next act, I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out today. We all knew him, all loved him dearly. I want to open up the mic to the Riley chapter 5978 to do a reading. If anyone's got some ibuprofen, pass it up to Henry here.
I need a drink. Grand Noble Reporter, have you a report as to any brother who may have departed these diggings and entered upon the great Flint pilgrimage beyond the Golden Hills since we last met in this hall comparative location?
O grand noble humbug, it grieves me most deeply that I must report that the following brother will never more grace the earthly halls of our ancient order, but in response to a silver clarion Hugad, have gone to join the grand chapter of the higher mountains, where gathered around a celestial campfire are all those noble brethren from the minds who have gone on before us. Our departed brethren is Louis Leonardo Ward.
My patriarch, what say you?
The hookah blows, the red streak vanishes as the leaf blows when it snows.
Worshipers Escutus, what say you?
Winners weep and orphans wail, and wild winds howl along the trail.
Noble Grand Reporter, what say you?
Yesterday, Clamp Potent, Clamp Patriots, all now vacant chairs within the hall.
Grand Imperishable Hangman, what say you?
Worthy companions, beyond the pale slippery gulch will miss their hell.
Clan Pitrix, what say you?
Humbugging Vituscans, frolicking friars, incomparable, irreverent, glorious liars.
Clan Platrix, what say you?
Black dead ministers and staff were laid to widow, orphan, and Indian chief.
Our clan faithful, historificating, Californifying brother is gone. The tradition he left we carry on. Farewell, good clamper, dear brother, farewell. God keep you all until we meet another day in another hall of that grand chapter over there. Brethren, join me in silent prayer. It's storming in the west, and lightning lit up the sky. We're here for a burying, and to tell old hands goodbye. For they mined and lit a ton of powder, and paid their dues. To the fancy girls and saloon keepers, they're passing bad news. Their old dogs will howl in the wind, their sorrow they will tell. But we know they're headed for Clamper heaven, they're too tough for hell. When the miles are all tallied up and the truth's all said, some Clamper will whisper, they're just resting, mister, they ain't dead. What say the brethren?
Satisfactory. And so recorded.
Thank you, brothers. I'm going to go ahead and open up the mic to Sean.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. I want to read you something that I wrote from my dad when he passed. Just give me a second. I got to pull myself together and put my face on. So, Thursday, August 17th, we lost my dad. But he could finally be at peace, not having to go through dialysis and being in and out of hospitals. It was a constant battle that he doesn't have to fight anymore. I lost more than my dad. I lost my role model. I lost my hero. And the person I could call on at any given time without question, judgment, or hesitation. This man has molded me into a person that I could be proud of and hold my head high. He's molded me into one of the best linemen in the industry. It breaks my heart knowing that I can't hear that goofy ass laugh or see that smile anymore. You've given me all the advice I need to succeed. Thank you, Dad. I love you. And I always will. And I miss you terribly. But I know that I'll see you again one day. Until then, pop, pop. You're the king of the castle now, old man. And you can finally be at peace with your pops and your mom. In a sea of predators, the lion must never fear the jackal. Simplify. I'd like to open up the mic to anybody who would like to share a memory of him, good, bad, or the ugly. So if you want to share your memories with him, please come up. Thank you.
Well, Sean touched on a lot of things that I had to say as well. If you knew him, if you had the pleasure to work with him, travel with him, you would really know the impact that man had on a lot of people's lives. He was a stubborn goat. He was a mule, though. I'm really, really proud to have been in his shadows along the travels that, being in some of these old trucks, going down the highways with him, town to town, city to city, all over the place. All awesome, great memories. We had a fucking blast. I'm really gonna miss him. I already do. I'm really happy that I was able to hear the words "I'm proud of you" come out of his mouth too. It happened to be the day he got out of the hospital too. It's like, you're proud of me and hugging me. I'm proud of you, old man, for making it out of here. Goddamn. With that said, I'll pass the mic on to anybody else who wants to say something. I could probably sit up here and ramble forever with all the great memories we've had. But as he would say, this isn't goodbye. It's just see you later.
Let me see, I'm gonna start this. First off, my condolences to all y'all. We all lost somebody great in our lives. Definitely send my condolences and my love to y'all. It's
very terrible situation. But the bright side, like you said, was he doesn't have to go through that suffering no more, you know. I used to come over there whenever Chris would be fixing my cars and stuff and then hanging out, and you wouldn't know that he was going through what he was going through the way he talked. Because, like, even though he's going through what he was going through, he still would ask me about things in my life and try to give me good game about what was up. You know, how's the kids? How's this? How's that? And maybe you should try this, do that, you know. And that was one optimistic man. He was very optimistic. And he made some good moonshine, you know. Shout out to that moonshine, man. And I can only hope that he passed that gift on to his sons, and I can be able to enjoy it again another day, you know. But with that being said, Lou, you're definitely missed and gone but not forgotten, for sure.
I don't have a magnificent speech like Sean. You definitely hit every note that I was wanting to hit. He was an amazing man. And we didn't just lose a dad, we lost our best friend. And he wasn't just our dad, he was all of our friends' dads. He loved everyone. Anybody we drug in the house, he loved them. He might have kicked some of them out occasionally, but he loved them. Especially Wayne. He was a great man, and he will be very, very remembered and loved forever. One of my fondest memories was when I was a little girl in the 90s, and one of my favorite bands was the Spice Girls. And I dressed up to the nines like a Spice Girl, the clodhoppers and the little short skirt, and did my hair up in pigtails. And my daddy took me to the movies to see that movie, and we got pulled over along the way. And the cop came up to that window and looked at me and was like, "Blink twice if you need help." He sent us on our way once I blinked twice, but I'm sure he had some hesitation. He was great, and he did very, very meaningful things like that that always left an everlasting memory. I love him, and I miss him. Thank you guys for all being here. I'll hand you off.
I should have went up here before she did. Thanks. For who don't know who I am, I'm Chelsea. I'm one of her best friends, and one of the adopted daughters. He definitely took me under his wing. He had the unfortunate time to meet me in my early 20s, so I was very wild and crazy. I got a lot of advice from him that I never asked for. I had my dad and my stepdad, and he's like, "Well, now you've got me, and I'm gonna tell you what's what." And I'm like, okay. A lot of memories with him. Breakfast. He always worked early, and we would be up all night drinking and having fun, and he never failed to make us breakfast before he went to work. Usually we'd just steal his food, and then he'd have to make more for himself, but he never complained. He always made us breakfast. And my favorite is, I don't know how it ended up. You weren't able to go, or someone wasn't able to go, but he had tickets to Leonard Skinner. And Britt's like, "Yeah, Dad's looking for someone to go with him." And I was like, "I love that bit. I want to go. Like, I'd love to go with him." And we weren't very close at the time. Like, I think we got more close after the concert. But on I ended up going with him. It was out of town, and he stopped at the store, and I was like, I'm not hungry. You know, I didn't have any money, so I was like, I'm just going on this free trip, just, you know, so you don't go by yourself. And he's like, here's the number one rule. Road trip, you need good music and snacks. And I was like, okay. And so I grabbed a couple of snacks, and he's like, is that all? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, no, like, we need more snacks. We need salty, we need chocolate, we need the whole thing. And so I grabbed more stuff, and he's like, oh, that's my favorite. Like, you already know what I was gonna grab. Like thanks. But ended up going to the concert, and we both had the best time ever. I've been trying to find the pictures of the concert, but it's on my old Facebook, and it got hacked and deleted. But I just keep thinking of, he's like, get me and the background of the whole thing, so everyone knows where we are, because everyone's gonna be so jealous of all of our pictures and our videos. And I think we were in like the 7th row, like it was like right there. And so he was like, take every picture and every video you possibly can, because everyone's gonna be jealous, and we're gonna talk about this for years. And so I took as many as he said, and we just had a blast. And you know, he didn't have to take me. He didn't know me that well. I was just one of Brittany's stupid little friends that was always around, always eating his food. But he brought me in, and I just keep thinking of his smile and his thumbs up in front of the whole thing, and I miss him. And I just want to thank him for adopting me, and yeah, I love him, and I miss him a lot. And I have brothers, and because of him, and we're always going to be family. So I just wanted to say that. So thank you.
Hi, name is Bob. Known Chris and Sean for quite a few years. I mean, when they were small. But the first thing that Lewis said to me when he hired me on was, Bob up and kiss my ass. You guys remember? But Lewis was just a fantastic person to be around. I learned a lot from him. Sharp guy. We'll miss him. We'll miss him a lot, but he'll always be with you guys. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Thank you.
My name's Colleen, and Louis was my little brother. I keep remember all the stuff we used to get in trouble when we were younger. I just remember the last time that I see him. It was his birthday, and he took me to see Chris Rock in concert. And it's like, it's my birthday, you gotta come. And it's like, okay. And it was just a blast. He's just was such a loving and caring, big-hearted brother. I didn't know that was gonna be the last time I saw him.
Hi, my name's Rick, and Lewis and me had a pretty kind of weird relationship. I really liked him and loved him. And he used to do things to me. I think he did it out of just kind of like a dark sense of humor. Like, he used to give me jobs that were right next to a casino, knowing my bad habit. Always. He would send me, I said, what are you giving these jobs for? He says, well, I know, you kind of pull in there for your lunch break or whatever, But he always do that to me. I mean, no matter what job I was on, he would find me a job around a casino. And then I used to have this bad habit. I had an addiction to copper for a while. I got over that. But he said, well, he goes, funny thing, he's giving me a ride to work one morning. Sees abandoned cable up there. We were going by, you know, and I look at it, and he sees me look at it. He goes, "Yeah, I see that cable up there." Well, at the time, we was needing some petty cash, and I kind of helped out the company there that night. Because he came back, he goes, "Man, I came up by there yesterday, and it was gone." You know, he goes, "Well," I said, "Well, here's some money for petty cash, you know, I'll help you out." But Lewis was a good man. He understood my way of thinking at times, and I really did love him, and I'm going to miss him.
So, back in the day, the early 80s to mid 80s, late 80s, cable TV was a little bit different than it is now. So, all these crazy bikers and people from the bottom of the barrel would come riding in and they're like, "Oh, we're going to build Huntington Beach, or we're going to build Long Beach, or we're going to build Santa Cruz," and they just come in and, set up camp, and all these bucket trucks would come in, and I was the bucket truck guy, So there might be 2 or 3 contractors working. I'd come rolling in, and at the end of the day, sometimes they'd order pizza, sometimes they'd barbecue, but they were all hanging out. Oh, and there was always beer, And I'd come rolling in, I'd look, I'd squint my eyes, and I'd go, "Oh my God, it's Lewis effing Ward." And we just hit it off. And he was the funniest guy in the yard. And I just have the grandest memories of working with him at all these crazy places. And I will always smile when I hear his name. I love that guy.
So I am being forced up here. I don't know. I don't think there's anything bad I could ever say about Pappy here, except for this one time. This one time I was pretty sure I was going to be helping plan his funeral that morning. This was several years ago. You remember the morning I'm talking about? Yes. So we were up really late, and we were at the Doings, actually. And me and Brittany found him passed out on the ground outside. So we had to help, just me and her. Nobody else is awake. It's just me and her, and I'm like a whole lot skinnier than I am now. And she's still the same size. But so it was up to us to carry him into the tent, and it was a chore. So we get him to the tent. He trips over the lip going into the tent, falls down. Oh, because his pants fell down. That's what it was. His pants fell down, trips over his pants, falls on top of Brittany. So now she's screaming, "Get him off me!" He's not waking up. He was not waking up. So we get him in there, tuck him in. We go lay down. It's probably, I don't know, an hour later. All of a sudden, we hear this reggae music just playing so loud, and "Brittany Dawn! Blueberry pancakes!" over and over and over again. So yeah, you're welcome for not killing me then, because there wouldn't be this beautiful service had that have happened. But we will all miss you. He was an amazing man. I remember the first time he introduced me to anyone, it was, "This is my daughter," and it's been that way ever since. And I love him.
Don't be shy. Come share your memories. Come on, Rick. Get up here. Come on. Come on. Don't shake your head now. Get up here.
I did have one more thing is that, I don't know if you ever did it to punish me or what, but it was, he was working over Half Moon Bay. He said, oh, Rick, he goes, we got a nice place for you guys to stay. It's a retreat, Christian retreat. And we stayed there, it was about a good month and a half, and then we got to eat there. They fed us dinner every night. You couldn't smoke, couldn't have no company over your room of the opposite sex. Or it was just like we was under guard that night. But I was never get that. We had built some power lines for them, but I remember I always said, why'd you do that? You know? And at the time, my son was working with me. My two sons were, in fact. My oldest and my youngest. And they happened to bring home a few ladies that one night into this apartment complex that we weren't supposed to have guests over. And I got up and I go, wait, they came to work late, and I go, what are you doing so late? He goes, we got a problem, Dad. I go, what do you mean a problem? He goes, well, we got girls in our room, and we can't get them out. But I'm just saying, that's kind of stuff he used to do to me is kind of, you know, I don't know, sometimes it was punishment or just his sense of humor, but it was cool. I got a lot more, but I can't remember them all. I'm getting old and senile, so those are just the good ones.
Oh, we got a visitor at the mic.
So I knew Lewis for a while. Him and my dad go way back in the day. And I worked with Chris, worked with Sean through the years. And there was one time, it was me and you working with Robert DeWar. And I was backing up the bucket truck, whoever was in it, and the front bumper hit a tree. And it just went straight out. And Lewis was the guy in charge out there. He came out and drug tested me. And in Lewis's good heart, he's told me, he said, I know you don't do this stuff at work. You do whatever you do at your own time. I'm going to slide this one right under the table. You know, he had my back. And I knew him for a little while, not as well as a lot of people. But I do love him, and he will be very missed by all. Thank you.
Get up here, Lobster. No, you get up here. Afshin, come on.
Hello, guys. Name is Afshin. I had the pleasure to knowing Louis for almost 20 years. We worked together many places, from Half Moon Bay all the way. I was paying for that hotel room. Remember that? Louis was the guard. And then we did the projects all over the California, Fort Braggs and Ukiahs, and then San Leandro and Hayward. We upgraded almost half of the Bay Area with Louis. I mean, I really loved him. As a matter of fact, the last time he worked with us was 2018, 19, I think. And then he was getting sick. He couldn't travel, and then he left. But I loved him, and I know him almost for 20 years. And do you know why he started talking to me? 2003, I stole him from Chris Barney. I showed up with my brand new Hummer, H2. And then he said, damn, if you have this, I want to work for you in Salinas. But that's how we met. Anyway, we're going to miss you, Louis, and God bless you, man.
Get up here, Shane. Get up here. Bullshit. Get up here.
I really don't have any great stories. Just drunk ones, like falling into tents.
That's great.
No, I wasn't there for that, but I heard about it. No, I met Lou through clamping. So I knew him for about 10, 11 years. I bought a Jeep from him. He was a really good guy. I remember talking to him personally. I think he was wasn't he in the Marine Corps? And I think Army, he was a boxer, and I remember him telling me about that. I just thought he was just a really cool, far out dude, and he loved his kids. And he's a cool dude to be around. And great fun if you got him to drink more than he really should. And then you can tie his shoes together, play games with him. Lou was just a great guy. So yeah, bummer days. Bummer days. Sorry you're gone, but I'm glad you're in a better place, and we'll see you when we all get there.
Hey. Anybody else got something to say? Big, small? Forever hold your peace? Or let your peace out? Caveman, very simple. I love it.
Hi, I'm Chris's old lady. If you haven't met me, hi. A lot of you guys do know me. I haven't been around him for too long. I think it's been about 4 years. But I can say that man had a huge heart. My kids came into the picture, and it was a little rough at first. He gave him shit, and then he started picking on him, his little flicking that he did to him, and pulling ears and stuff like that. I always remembered these really funny jokes, or maybe they were just funny to me because I'm blonde and I didn't really get them until a couple minutes later. But, and you might not think it's funny, but I thought it was hilarious. He asked what we were having for dinner one night, and Chris is gonna correct me on it, but it was cauliflower. And that's not how you say it correctly, but Pops called it ghost broccoli, and it threw me for a loop because I didn't know what the hell ghost broccoli was. But little things like that, he always made funny punts and stuff. And whenever he came in to give me and Chris mail, or me mail for Chris, he said delivery for telegram for Mongo, which I didn't get that either, but I went with it. He was a stubborn man, definitely a stubborn man, but I loved him. I treated him like my own father. Never liked me to make his own plate, which I did it anyway, which I think kind of irritated him, but I told him, shut up, you deal with it, a few times. I've never had a bad moment with him. He was always great and nice to me. I remember one time I came in a little bit too heated, and it was me and Brittany, I was a little too heated, and he looked at me and he's like, okay, calm down. And I was like, whoop, shut it down right there. I was like, not gonna step over that line with Pops, man. So I don't, like I said, I haven't known him as long as everybody else has, but I can say that everything I've been around, he had a huge heart, and it sucks to see him not here anymore. I still feel he's here, it's hard for me to feel that, like, he's gone. So I still feel he's here, but yeah.
You want to say something, Munchkin? Well, are you shorter? I really wish Noah was here. He would be up here. Man, those two had a weird, extended dad bond. Those two loved each other. And his blue dog. A couple of you may know, but Blue was a dog that I had for almost 12 years, somewhere around there. He kind of took to my dad, and those two kind of formed a bond, and then, you know, that was my dad's, kind of became my dad's dog in a way. And they were both old, stubborn, spunky personalities. Blue had passed on probably about 8 days. 8 days before my dad passed. So I kind of feel like they wanted to go together. I know he's up there. He's up there throwing the ball for Blue. Was probably excited to see him walk through the door. Had his butt twerking and his tail smacking everything off whatever was within Blue height. Noah too. I'm sure they're all up there having a great time. Another saying my dad always told me was, every day's a good day. Some days are just better than others. There are no bad days. Yeah. If anybody else got something to say, go ahead and come on up before we wrap it up.
Hi, y'all. My name's Sherry. Knew Lou for a very, very, very long time. One thing I'd like to say was my husband and I would get into an argument, and he would look at me and he'd go, "Calm down, girl. It's okay." He says, "You got to do one of two things." And I said, "What is that?" He says, "You're either going to fuck or fight." So, what you doing? "Well, right now, Lou, I'd like to fight." "No, we don't want to do that." "Okay, so are you sure that's not what we want to do?" "Yeah." He always had a way of calming me down. It never mattered. I could be upset about anything. And he would walk up and just put his hand on my shoulder and tell me, "You're a wonderful lady. Don't let anybody get to you." I'm going to miss him very dearly. He was a great man and a great friend. My condolences to you guys. I love you.
Nobody else? Somewhere over the rainbow. Oh, Dave, hi.
You know, Lewis was always the guy that was, if you asked for help, you know, you just there. And we had that kind of friendship. And there's just this funny story, okay? So I don't even remember why or how or whatever, but Lewis was living in Orange County, okay? And so, but there was still the house in San Jose. And So he knew me and my brother-in-law, Reva, were heading up there because I was going to pick up a bucket truck somewhere. So Lewis said, okay. I said, yeah, I'll give you a ride. And I think it was his wife. And I even think I remember there was a kid there, okay? But it was a really long time ago. So all of a sudden we go to pick up Lewis, and he's got a couch, okay, and an ottoman, and maybe even a recliner. And my brother-in-law is going, wait a minute, man. We're going to put all this stuff in the back of the truck. I go, well, looks like you got room, you know? So we threw it all in there, and we take off, and we're heading up just before the grapevine, and the ottoman flew out. And we're watching it because Lewis is trying to hold it, and he's back there, and it flies out and goes bouncing down the freeway. This Honda car hits, and we had to pull over, and we're trying to calm the guy down that hit it. And so, I mean, just a great memory and a funny story. And I've got so many, you know, things about Lewis that just make me smile. And it's just one of those things I can't get out of my head, you know. And anyway, great memories. Never forget this guy.
Wow. Like you're in a metal band. Go ahead. Tell everyone how much you love Papa.
I love Papa a lot.
You gonna miss him. He's always taking you to school. Yeah. Say it. Go ahead.
He always was taking me to school,
Getting you donuts.
getting me donuts,
And snacks after school.
and snacks after school,
Slurpees.
and Slurpees.
Gonna miss him very much. Say it.
And I miss him really much.
That all?
Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Hi.
Hi, Mimi.
Love you, Papa.
Anybody else? Oh, nada? Okay.
Da.
No, it's not a play.
Hello.
I didn't know Pops as much as you guys did, but I loved him. He would always flick me in my head and make funny jokes about me. And I'm gonna miss him very, very much.
Hunter? That me too? Cool.
Hola, Sodora.
No, not a play.
Saying hola, Sodora to everybody.
Hi everybody, I'm Hunter. I got a bunch of stories of me and Pop, but one thing that he drilled into my head more than my own dad was a man is only so much as his word. And every time we would handshake on something, he's all, do you mean that? Do you mean that? And he'd always make me look him in the eye. And that's something that I can pass down to my children, and hopefully they pass down to their children, because he taught me a lot of respect and how to become the young man that I am today. and I'm gonna miss him so much. That- Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
My name's Tina. I met Louis through my sister Tanya and the rest of the family when the kids were very young. Louis always welcomed me in his home, took care of me, looked after me like I was his blood, always made sure that we had everything we needed. T and I used to go out all over the weekends. We'd come in, rolling in the house, rip-roaring, pie-eyed. Louis, open the door! Here comes Louis. That was one of the fun times we used to come home to. We all would kind of just crash out in the living room, and here'd be Louis just tapping through the way to the kitchen. I'm out there like this, and here comes Louis. Bam! Stepped on my finger. Broke my nail clear off, tailed the cuticle. That's one memory that I will always have of him. I love that man. He made me part of what I am today and the family and the ohana that I have. Thank you.
Nobody else? Have it all out? So does anyone know how he got the nickname Leonardo? So we were at a establishment that serves spirits in mass quantities. We were out front smoking. He had, we were outside having a cigarette before going back inside and having some more drinks. Well, my pops had his share of drinks, and he, I'm supposed to be getting up for work. He had his share of drinks, and we went inside, had one more, came back outside, and we're at my truck. Well, I was just going to park and leave my truck for the night because I had too much. Pops had way too much. So we're like, you know what? We're going to take Pops into bed for a minute while we party a little more before we head home. Well, we opened the passenger side of my truck and we stuffed him in there, reclined the seat back, closed the door, rolled the windows down so fresh air could blow through, you know. We go inside, start having some more drinks. We come back outside to have a cigarette again, and there's a group of women that I have no idea who they are in my truck, and they're taking pictures with my papa. He's passed out. He doesn't even know what's going on. They're doing silly faces and everything, and you know, we laughed at them. Hey, what are you doing? And they all jumped out of the truck right away and closed the door and took off down the sidewalk, and we were laughing about it. Well, Pops had kind of was all groggy coming to, and he gets out of the truck, and he's, well, kind of gets out of the truck, and we're like, no, stay in the truck. And he's like, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette, okay. And so we let him open the door and lean against the door jamb to smoke a cigarette, and we're like, it was Butterfly, Miles. He was all, Lou, you just missed out. He's all, there's a bunch of girls on your lap, and Papa was all, where? He's looking around for him. We're like, they already took off. And he was like, grabs one belt loop on his pants. He's trying to go somewhere in a hurry. He was about as fast as a turtle. Well, we get him back Miles coaches him out of the truck again with a shot of tequila. And I had almost got him back into the truck. And if you've ever drank with my dad, you know how hard it was to get him to go to bed. So I almost got him back in the truck, and here comes Miles. Lou, you want a drink? Off he went, and he gets on the sidewalk, and he's almost at the door to walk in, and his pants drop. Straight to his ankles, and the bartender was all, he's done. We all laughed because we know about the Papa and his pants thing. We're like, yeah, as soon as his pants hit the ground, he's done, you know? So he finally accepted that he was done for the night, and we go and put him in my truck. Well, we thought a couple of brothers thought it would be funny to draw things on his face and whatnot. One thing turned into another and another and another. And next thing you know, we're sitting there doing him up. He's looking like Post Malone and tattoos all over his face. And then I believe it was, I think it was Miles that drew the glasses on him. He tried to draw glasses on him. Well, they didn't look very right because he was trying to do the thing right here with the marker. It wasn't coming out very good. So then he started going a little more and a little more just to make a thick, and then he's all, wait a second. He starts doing it more and more, and I was like, no, you need to make the things thicker over here. And right there, Miles was like, wait. Starts it, and he literally paints the turtle mask on him. And ever since then, his nickname has been Leonardo.
Like Chris said, if you ever had the opportunity to drink with my dad, you're going to have a good time. Trust me, and you better buckle up because, wear a belt. And just, even if he had a belt on, his pants would still fall down. And that's when we all know when to just toss him in bed because he's done. But there's so many of these pictures floating around of him with either his pants down or something drawn on his face, because we just get rip-roaring drunk, and whoever passed out first with their shoes on, they're getting it. And you know what? It didn't even matter if you took your shoes off. You're still getting it. So with that, don't be the first one to pass out around us.
So that's how Leonardo was born. His nickname, he's definitely leaving behind a legacy and a whole lot of memories. A whole lot of memories from just being caring, loving, hardworking. I don't think I've ever met somebody that's been more rounded than that old man. He kind of just hits all of the cornerstones of everything. But
And that's what happens when you pass out.
Huh?
Say it now.
No.
But I want to see it. Can you say it?
Mm-mm.
Papa was always crazy.
No. But, yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. It was definitely a pleasure for everybody that knew him. He touched everybody. I'm pretty sure I can look at everybody in this room and say he's touched somebody in one way or another, you know. But thank you all for coming out today. I appreciate it. And as Pops would say, it's not goodbye, it's see you later. So Sunday the 29th, we're going to have a celebration of life at the Elks Lodge. It's 920 D Street in Marysville. It's going to be from 3 to 9. Everybody is welcome. You don't need to dress nice. You can if you want to. Just come with a positive attitude is all we ask.